Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So this is my Champions Clash guide. Hopefully this will help you guys as you complete this challenge. So this is the latest event. It's a challenge just like the celebrity challenges of the past, but there is a little bit of a difference on this one. So there are two chapters. The first chapter works just like the previous challenges. You can do a single path and go directly to the boss, or you can do a path, continue to the next path, and skip to the boss if that's what you want to do. So you have a little bit of a leeway and it'll save you items. So if you do path 1 or 2 and then you don't like how the health of your champions are looking, go right to the boss, finish it, come back, do the rest later. All right, but chapter 2, you no longer can skip to the boss. So you have to do each path consecutively, one right after the other, until you get to the final boss. And there are 6 paths. Now, the PI starts out low, well, relatively low, I guess, around 14,000 or so, and it ramps up to about 40,000. So you want to bring in your strongest champions, strongest counters. All right, so I brought in my rank 5 Starkey and Corvus, Dr. Voodoo, Blade, and Ghost Rider. Now, I'm going to go through the buffs that you're going to encounter in this clash, and during each of the fights, I'll list the counters for that fight, as well as the buffs again. All right, so let's just go right down from the top, reading from left to right. All right, you have Finisher. All special attacks dealt and received have their damage increased by 2.5% for each hit on the attacker's combo meter. So the higher your attack combo, the more damage your specials are going to do. You have a handicap match. By the way, Finisher and handicap match, you're going to see those on pretty much all of them. Handicap match, your special attacks, critical hits, damage over time effects, they all do 50% less damage. All right. Minor aspect of death. Basically, you take an L3, you die. If you're on the last path or the last few paths, really even the first or second path, if you take an L3, chances are you're going to die, depending on how strong your champion is. But with minor aspect of death, guaranteed death. Critical, it just enhances the critical rate. All of them have a champion boost, by the way, so they have increased health and attack and that sort of thing. Power start 1 and 2, just what it sounds like. They start with 1 bar of power or 2 bars of power. And incidentally, if you ever see anyone with both of them on there, it's an instant 3 bars of power. So just be aware of that. Limber, basically, every time they're stunned, they reduce the duration of the stun by like 20%. So eventually, if you parry them enough or stun them enough, they're going to become immune to your stun. Pessimist, they gain fury, armor up, and health steal, as long as they remain above 75%. So you want to get them down below 75% as fast as possible. Debilitate, the debuff effects last longer. So if you get stunned, for example, because that's a debuff, it's going to last 100% longer, and you're probably going to get wrecked. Stun immunity, just what it sounds. They cannot be stunned. Power gain, they gain extra power. Feats of power. Now, feats of power, that's when they are above 1 bar of power, they gain a fury buff. When they're above 2 bars of power, they gain a precision buff. When they're at 3 bars of power, they gain a cruelty buff, and chances are you're going to get wrecked. But where this comes into play is if you have a power drainer, they may hit 3 bars of power. You hit them with a power drain, like Corvus or MODOK, and they'll come, they'll have their power drained, but they'll still get that buff. So that comes into play there. Power Seal. Now, Power Seal is a little bit of a fun one. That's, I believe, magic. If she hits you, chances are you're not going to get any more power. All right, so don't get hit. Power Leak. Power Leak is a 50% chance for critical hits to cause power leak from opponents over time. So you got to get hit, and you got to get a critical. Cornered, they're going to gain a certain percentage of power when they're under a damage over time effect. Knockout. Now, knockout is fun. I don't think I've seen knockout before, but stunning the defender for 10 seconds straight or reaching a combo of 300 will instantly defeat them. Now, there was a bug with Wasp, and that bug, and I'll show it here so that you can see the bug, and then we'll go back to this screen with all the buffs on it. But they've already fixed it. But what I believe happens is Wasp is getting that stun, and it wasn't getting erased. So after you do like a 4-hit combo and you do your heavy, which stuns them, they're still stunned, even though it doesn't seem like they are. And 10 seconds later, they're dead. It was a bug. They fixed it. Some people made use of it. To me, that's not fun, so I wasn't going to do that. All right. Enhanced Special 2. They're more likely to do their Special 2. No, sorry. Their Special 2 deals more, 20% more damage, and it can't be blocked. I don't think it's that they do it more often or something like that. Enhanced Fury. Fury effects just have more potency. And finally, you have the Champion Indestructible, which of course is only on the champion. And when the champion has at least 3 active Fury buffs, he activates an Indestructible buff, ignoring all incoming damage. So be aware of that. All right, so now we're going to go into some of the fights, and I will show you the counters and, you know, just a little bit of the strategy that you might want to take when fighting that particular opponent. First fight on the path is Magic. She has Finisher, Handicap Match, Power Seal, Power Leak, and Knockout. The counters I suggest for this fight: Blade, Archangel, Magic, OG Vision, and Gladiator Hulk. Blade being the top choice. Magic is a dimensional being, so Blade gets Danger Sense without needing any synergy. So even if you have a 4-star Blade, I would bring your 4-star Blade in for this fight, unless you have any of the others at a higher ranking. But all of these are counters for this fight. The next fight is Hyperion. I hate Hyperion. I hate fighting Hyperion. He has Finisher, Handicap Match, Power, Gain, Stun Immunity, Knockout, and Enhanced Special 2. Now the counters for this: Starkey, obviously, that's who I went in here with, Dr. Voodoo, Magic, and OG Vision. All of them have some form of power control. Now Starkey, he has that taunt, so he can taunt out the specials when Hyperion doesn't want to throw his specials. And as you saw there, he also has a heavy to power drain him if he gets really, really stingy. So if you have your OG Vision at a high signature level, he is great for this fight. Magic, of course, awesome, but it just depends on who you have and who you are comfortable using. But any of those can work. MODOK gets an honorable mention as well. All right, so next up is Iceman. He has Finisher, Handicap Match, Critical, Knockout, and Pessimist. So my number one counter is, of course, Corvus. Sabretooth, Ghost Rider, Iceman, Mephisto, and Iron Man Infinity War are all counters for Iceman. Now, Corvus is great because he's immune to the cold snap while he has those charges up. And if you have willpower, he's actually healing. Look at his health. He's actually getting a heal while that cold snap was on him. So love using Corvus for this fight. Sabretooth, he is, of course, Cold Snap immune. So is Iceman, so is Mephisto, so is Iron Man Infinity War. Ghost Rider, the reason he's good is because he can take the damage and then heal it right back up in the fight. Starkey is also decent, but he has no way to recover his health. That's why I did not suggest him as a counter. But with that said, Blade can also work as long as you can survive the initial cold snap and play well. You can take down Iceman with a variety of champions. But unless they have a way to heal up, you're going to end up using resources. So these are my suggested counters, but it's not an all-inclusive list. All right, next up we have Void. He's got handicap match, finisher, knockout, power start 2, so you need to bait out that special 2 initially, debilitate, and minor aspect of death. So you don't want to get hit with his L3. The counters I suggest for this fight, Blade, Archangel, and Gwenpool. Now, Blade gets Danger Sense against villains when he has the Ghost Rider synergy, which is why I brought Ghost Rider along. And Void is labeled as a villain. So Blade is going to be the top choice with that synergy. He can take him even without the synergy. Archangel, just because of all the damage he can do, and Void can be bled and poisoned. And Gwenpool, she can shut down his abilities, and she does a lot of bleed damage. And just a quick comment, there are a lot of champions that are good counters for these fights that I didn't mention, like Ghost. I just don't have a Ghost, so I'm not familiar enough with Ghost. So I don't feel comfortable suggesting Ghost, but from what I've seen, Ghost will rock a lot of these encounters. All right, so now we come to Corvus. He is the last one on the path. He has finisher, handicap match, enhanced special 2, limber, and cornered. That cornered is going to mess you up if you're not careful. That's why I did not suggest Blade for this. Limber, it caught me a couple of times when I forgot. So the counters for this, Corvus, Starkey, Ghost Rider, and Angela. Angela because she does not rely on debuffs to do damage. But you can use a variety of champions against this Corvus. Just remember, he has cornered, so you don't want to put debuffs on him. So don't bring in a bleeder like Gwenpool or anything like that. And you should do fine. And again, Ghost probably can take this fight no problem. But like I said, I'm not familiar enough with Ghost. I want her. From all that I've seen, she can probably do all the fights on this path. I don't know how she would do against Hyperion, but with the right synergy, I believe she can tank special 3s. All right, so now we come to the champion. The final fight. He has handicap match, heal block, feats of power, enhanced fury, power start 1, so you need to bait that out, and that champion indestructible. Now, some of the counters, and it's not an all-inclusive list, are Dr. Voodoo, Beardo, that's Captain America Infinity War, Morningstar, Symbiote Supreme, Domino, Magic, and Archangel. Now, this is the first time I'm bringing Dr. Voodoo in against the champion. And as you can see, I got wrecked a little bit, but overall, I would highly recommend Dr. Voodoo if you have him ranked up. Now, if you don't have a Dr. Voodoo ranked up, you want to bring in a nullifier because you want to nullify those Furies. Because if you don't nullify the Furies, he's going to go indestructible. That's what makes Dr. Voodoo so awesome, because not only can he nullify to prevent him from going indestructible, but he also converts them to a poison. So while I'm baiting out or waiting out the unstoppable, he is taking a lot of damage. All right, now watch this here. See that? He went unstoppable in the middle of my L2, and I just converted it all to poisons. So at this point, he's a walking dead man. And down he goes. Dr. Voodoo, definitely an MVP. I wish I had realized this when I was fighting the champion before. But that's going to do it, guys. Hopefully this helped you out. Now, again, and I want to stress this because I know people are going to ask, why didn't you put this person like Ghost on the list of counters? I just don't feel comfortable suggesting a counter that I'm not personally familiar with. You know, I haven't seen a ghost, but I'm pretty sure she can handle it just fine. So lots of counters. I just chose a few that I've at least seen someone do or I've used myself. All right, so that's going to do it, guys. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. If you would like to join my channel, there's a link in my description. If you would like to support the channel, there are links in my description to help you do just that. And you guys have a blessed day.